Hello and welcome back to Solid. My name is Jake. Thank you guys very much for joining me on what day is today? Sunday, April 7th. It is 10 p.m. Week 2 of the XFL season, or UFL season is over, sorry. But none of that matters. The only thing that matters is that your St. Louis Battlehawks are now 1-1 with a win over the Arlington Renegades, a 27-24 win. That was every bit as frustrating as it was entertaining, I guess is the right way to say it. Did you know that Mateo Durant is on this team? And that there's a good chance that he can actually run. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Like, I knew that, but I didn't know that. You might have known that, but you didn't actually know that. Like, that, ooh, my guy, we got a lot of stuff to cover here. Kind of just from the get-go, you could tell me, and I would believe you, that there's somebody that's game planning the Battlehawks offense, and they have a personal vendetta against me. You could tell me that, and I would 100% believe you, because there's no other way. There's no other way. Your first 15 plays of a game are all scripted plays. These are plays that you have written down. These are the plays that you're going to do. So what did the Battlehawks do? They did the right thing. First of all, they had a very good idea going into this. It was a home game. There's 40,000 people there for a spring football game. Get out of town. But it's a home game. Start with the ball. Take the ball, because in the UFL, the home team, there's no coin flip. Home team just decides whether or not they get the ball, or the other team gets the ball right off the bat. The good idea is to start with the ball, go down the field, score. Building's rocking. Arlington never gets a chance to even get going. That's a good idea. But, buddy, I don't know what these plays were right off the bat, man. And good for them. The second play, so first play of the game, they did an inside zone run and it got nowhere. Okay, obviously that's gonna happen. But the second play of the game, good for them for burying this one with 14 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first quarter. Good for them for burying this one. If you don't remember, this is the one. This is the play where they decided to line up the offensive tackles and offensive linemen out wide and then throw a screen. That was the play they had. That was their trump card. That was their, you know what? We're gonna score right off the bat. We're gonna do some bullshit. We're gonna do some UFL bullshit, and we're gonna run a play that nobody's gonna see coming. Yeah, and nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw a screen pass behind your offensive tackles get blown up for a 2-yard loss. We did not see that one. That was stupid. That was real. That was dumb. If you weren't out on this game after the first play, or a first down run to start the game, if you weren't out on it, you had to have seen that second play. And be like, oh, I guess we're just gonna fucking lose today. I guess that's what we're doing. I guess we're just not trying today. And that is exactly what I thought. Oh my God, you want to start fast. Remember in 2022 when the Cowboys were playing the 49ers in the playoffs, and the very last play of the game was the Cowboys had Ezekiel Elliott snap the ball directly to Dak, and then there was no other lineman next to Zeke, and then he got blown up. Remember that? That's what this play reminded me of. This was really fucking dumb. That was a really dumb play. And I don't know, like, somebody thought that they were cooking. So Bruce Gradkowski's like, I got this play that's going to go for 6. I don't care where we're out on the field. I've got this play that's going to go for 6. We're going to put the big guys outside. And then somebody's like, oh, yeah, Hakeem Butler. He's a big guy. Yeah, Marcel Aitman. Both of these guys are wide receivers. They're big guys. Yeah, maybe we should line them up outside. I don't think anything's crazy about that. And then Bruce said, no. Bigger. And he put his tackles out, lined up like wide receivers to block, and good God, it didn't work. Man, that was very funny. That was very, and then the game was, it was good. I mean, the Battlehawks, they started slow, but man, oh man, they ended up pulling it off in a very frustrating fashion. So their first two drives, first drive was a punt. Every other drive, aside from that first drive, was not like wholly was not terrible. Was not wholly. It was not terrible. So the way their drives went, they had was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They had 8 drives. First one was a punt. Second one was a doink. And man, it was a 7 minutes, almost like 7 minutes and 15-second long drive. It was 12 plays. They moved the ball 43 yards in 12 plays, which is not great efficiency. And then that Schmidt, that kicker, Andre Schmidt, I think is his name, just zonked it off the upright. Man, you couldn't have paid him to kick a better kick right at the upright, buddy. He just zonked that thing. And honestly, I think this might have been the first time that I've ever seen a doink live. Looks cool. Honestly, I think it's like watching the Masters. It's like I would rather watch that at home because then you get the sound. Like a doink in person, and I mean maybe this just wasn't a good doink, but it just didn't. It didn't have like I'm guessing like they have microphones inside of the uprights because this just hit it and it just kind of went flat. Like there was no noise. Like normally you get a doink and it just like if you blow your speakers out, it's like nyong, and that's kind of what I was hoping for. But it didn't do that. But yeah, anyway, their drives went punt, missed field goal, touchdown, then the turnover on downs. Ugh, I don't know. Well, yeah, I'm not sure about that. That was the one where Becht challenged a targeting, and then it wasn't a targeting on Darius Shepard. I don't know. I think that was dumb. I haven't watched the game back. I should say this. I'm recapping this from memory. I'm looking at the stats and everything, and then also just recapping what I had from my memory. And to be incredibly fair to me, as far as my memory goes, this was at from 7 to 10 p.m. on a Saturday after having drunk a lot. So there's a very real chance that I have some things wrong. Or I miss some things, I get it if I do. And you should get it too. We're all people. You understand where I'm coming from. I'll come back with the recap later on in the week and really get into the weeds about things. But anyway, punt, field goal attempt, touchdown, the turnover on downs because of that stupid bullshit. And then a touchdown, and then the saddest field goal, and then a good field goal. So, I mean, as far... They scored on over half of their drives, which is much better than last week. As far as like, yes, they started slow in this game, but it was not anywhere as close to being a slow. Like they didn't just in week 1 they didn't just start the game slow. They played the game slow until the very end. This game, yeah, there's kind of a lull until the second quarter. To be fair for both teams. But then they really turned it on, so that was good. That was what I like to see. I liked it. Then we had that last drive, of the game. Mateo Durant, 41 yards. Get out of town, brother. Get out of town. Where's that? This team can run the ball, I guess, against a not great Arlington defensive line that's not very good against the run, but still. I said it in the preview. I said if this offensive line wants to be like, yeah, we can actually run the ball, this is the team that you get to do it against. And luckily, you get to play these guys another time. So that was good. And then they capped it off with the game-winning field goal. Man, it was pretty electric. It was pretty electric in there. But going back to the sad field goal, I hate it. I hate it because the turnover on downs was. They went for it on fourth and 6, and they didn't get it. They went for it on 4th and 6. They didn't get it. They went for it on 4th and they kicked a field goal on 4th and 6 inches on 4th and 6 inches. It was 6 inches. And it wasn't just a gimme field goal. It was a 47-yard field goal. Like it's a 47-yard field goal with a kicker who already missed a kick earlier. Tone, Big Tony, Anthony Becht, Coach Tone, Big Tone Coach. I don't like the way that you did that. This is 2 weeks in a row where we've made some brutally questionable calls, buddy. What are we doing with that? Why? Like, and okay, so they kicked that field goal. It did go in. Okay, to be fair, it did go in and it worked. I was so sour on it. I was like, what? I called him a coward. And spoiler, he's gonna get coward of the week. I totally forgot to do coward of the week. I did the cacaw of the week last week. I did the of the week last week. I did the big old bitch of the game. I did not do coward of the week. Tony's getting coward of the week this week. That was a sad field goal. That was a really sad field goal. And then the Battlehawks, what's it called? A Twitter account put out the video saying it's good for 47, and then a clapping emoji. Brother, we don't clap for that. We don't clap for that. 4th and 6 inches. You've been moving the ball pretty well. You've been moving the ball pretty well all game, and then you did that. And that was frustrating to me. So they kicked the field goal, went in to tie the game. If you go for it, you don't put that into anybody's mind. Because after that, Arlington got the ball, and they went down the field pretty quickly. 9 plays, 37 yards, took almost 5 minutes off the clock, and they missed a field goal. Buddy, if they hit that field goal, you're gonna have less than 2 minutes to do what you got to do. And I don't know, because then your field goal at the end ties it up, and like you played for a tie there, and I don't like that. I think that's unacceptable. Playing for overtime is very dumb. Very dumb. I don't know, man. That was maybe I'll watch it. I watched the press conferences after the game, and he said something. He said some weird. He said something weird. He's like, yeah, well, we talk with the coaches before the game about where we're comfortable going for it. But that changes during the game. So what that tells me is that during the game he lost confidence in his team to actually be able. Like, he lost confidence in A.J. McCarron to be able to move the ball 6 inches. 6 inches. He lost that confidence. I don't know, man. That was kind of that. I didn't like that. And he said something. He's like, yeah, well, we wanted to kick the field goal because we needed to come away with points there, or else it would have been a big momentum shift. When it's that late in the fourth quarter, we don't really give a shit about momentum. We care about winning. When it's middle of the third quarter, yeah, you can care about momentum then, because then things can change. Like if you lose momentum, then all of a sudden the other team's got 22 minutes, 20 minutes to be able to go and just have their way with you. But 6 minutes left, I give a rat's ass about momentum. Score, damn it, score. Then you can do that thing. Okay. Then you can do that thing where you go for one and then make it so it's more than a field goal game. Or I guess you would actually have to go. Yeah, no. Okay, so they kicked the field goal to tie it. Yeah, then so if they scored, they would have got 6. So they would have been up by 3. And then you go for one like you like doing, and then it's more than a field goal game. And then all of a sudden, Arlington has to go all the way down the field rather than just do the field goal thing, like what they did. And also, that's the other part of this, is that last week, when he went for 1 instead of going for 3, he said that he talked to Bruce Gradkowski, said, give me your best play. Bruce Gradkowski said, my best play is the one that can get me 2 yards. And then yesterday, he didn't ask Bruce Gradkowski that. He said, I don't care what your best play is. The one that can get you 2 yards, congratulations. That will be what we actually need in order to get a first down. But I like to take 3. I like to tie this one up. I don't like that, man. I feel like I'm justified. I feel like I'm justified. There's some shit dick that was like 5 seats away from me. He's like, no, they did the right thing. It's like, they didn't do the right thing. Being a coward is not the right thing. They didn't do the right thing. I did not I did not like that. Going into some of the other stuff, let's see. AJ McCarron was 19 for 29. That's a 66% completion rate. Threw for 248 yards and 2 touchdowns. Both those touchdowns go to Marcel Aitman. Marcel the Shell with shoes on, baby. That guy, he's good. I like him. He's good. He's fun to watch. He's a lot of fun to watch. He actually had 4 catches for 144 yards. Big boy was 53 yards. Longest one was 53 yards. 55 yards of yak. That's good. I didn't think that he was going to get a whole lot of yak. Like last week, there was one where he kind of caught the ball in the middle and kind of shuffled around a little bit. Not the shiftiest guy in the world. So I was like, I don't know about this guy getting yak. I was wrong. Hands up, I was wrong on that one. Darius Shepard had a hell of a game too. 9 catches for 82 yards. Long one was 32. Man, he got 34 yards of yak, dude. These wide receivers, not too bad, these two guys. Hakeem Butler, another not great day. 3 catches for 26 yards on 6 targets. I know AJ was missing some guys, but I would like my big guys to play bigger. Is kind of that's my thought right there. The other thing about the passing game, they did go for. We didn't get any Jake Sutherland targets. I was really hoping that last week with Jake Sutherland catching all 4 targets for a touchdown and an extra point. I was really hoping that they're going to make tight ends a bigger part of the offense this year. They threw one ball to that Averett guy, and he didn't come down with it. I believe it hit him. He didn't come down with it. And then we did not see a single tight end target after that. It's like, and then when that happened, I was like, man, I really hope that they didn't see a tight end drop a ball, and then they're like, all right, well, fuck all tight ends, then punish all of them. I'm really hoping that they didn't do that. But then they kind of ended up being the way to do it. I have to, again, going back and watching it, I have to actually see if Jake Sutherland was ever open after that. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But that was kind of a kick in the dick. But also Mateo Durant, kind of getting into his whole day. Mateo Durant, as far as the passing game goes, he had 1 catch for 5 yards. Great. Love that. But it's the running game for him. It's the running game for this guy. 14 carries. He put up a hundo. He put up a Benny. Mateo Durant, 14 carries for 104 yards and a touchdown. That long of 41. That's what you can do with a running game. To be fair, in that post-game presser, Anthony Beck said, yeah, one thing we wanted to work on this week was the running game. We didn't want to just abandon it. We wanted to make sure that we could keep it going because that was one of the things that hurt us last week, not having a running game. That's what he said. And then, buddy, this game, nah. How about 7.4 yards per carry from Mateo Durant? Oh, buddy, I like him. I don't know what the hell happened. Between last year and this year. He couldn't really find the field a whole lot last year. He was going down at first contact last year. I believe he was making guys miss. I don't know if he broke through a lot of contact. I think he did a couple times. But man, he was good. That 41-yard. Ooh, that's a little scamper by him. That was good, dude. That's what happens. Like I said, you get that running game going, you can actually bleed the clock out at the end of games. That last drive from the Battlehawks, I'm sorry, I'm pulling that screen back up. It was a minute and 55 seconds, but they were able to actually get down there and bleed that clock out and make sure that they actually got it to be that field goal being the last snap of the game. Otherwise, if you throw it, you're worried about these guys. I say you're worried about it. You're worried about your wide receivers playing too well, which is a good problem to have. That's not a good problem to have. There's no such thing as a good problem to have. You're worried about moving the ball too quickly. Let's just say it like that. Let's just put it very bluntly. You're worried about moving the ball too quickly. And then all of a sudden, what's his dick? Luis Perez, however you want to pronounce his name, gets the ball back. He can move the ball. But you're able to run the ball 41 yards, bleed that clock out. Bleed it, baby. Bleed it. And they move right down. You got to love when the second to last play of the game is the quarterback taking a 2-yard loss and just going down in the backfield. You gotta love that. I don't know if that counted as a sack. I do need to look and see if that actually counted as a sack because actually it might say Let's see if I can find it here. Because it does say that A.J. McCarron was sacked 3 yards. That actually did, or 3 times. That did not count as a sack, actually. He went down. That I guess that counted as him taking a knee. So that's good that he didn't get contacted as well, because I like his health. A.J. McCarron was sacked 3 times. There were 6 tackled for a loss for 19 yards, which is not very good. Or was it 5? I can't read. These stats on this thing are so stupid. Anyway, it was roughly the same sackage and TFL count as they had last week. The offensive line, I mean, running game, they definitely played better. They definitely played better in the running game. AJ did have to move a little bit, kind of have to run for his life a little bit. He had 2 carries. Yeah, I mean, what can you say? Two carries. It was a total of 5, or total of 2 yards. But his long was 5. But yeah, I mean, you can't. I can't complain about that. I can't complain about that. They won. They won this game with this offensive line, who played better than they did. That's called growth. That's what I'm going to take here. That's what I'm going to take here. I didn't notice, and maybe I'll notice whenever I go back and watch it, a bunch of offensive linemen standing with their hands on their hips, looking around like, well, I don't know how the hell that happened. So at least that wasn't glaring anything like that. But the offensive line did play better, and the very easy way to say that is that a running back put up 100 yards. So that's a good thing. As far as this defense goes, my guy, Pita Tomapenu, number 7. Hair on fire, this guy. Hair on fire, this guy. 2 sacks by himself, and they were in the first 2 drives on 3rd downs, and they weren't just like sacks. They were good looking sacks. Like he was playing violently. He had 2 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss. The guy, he's good. I told you he was good. Yeah, I think I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure he won Defensive Player of the Year for the XFL last year. Good player, dude. Good player. I liked watching him. He was fast. I believe he got close a lot of times after that, getting pressures, depending on how you think about a defensive line pressuring a quarterback, whether you think that's objective or subjective. He was definitely affecting the game, and that is exactly what you want to see by your edge rushers. Willie Harvey it wasn't a standout game like he had in week 1, but he played well. Travis Feeney and O'Reilly combined for a sack too. I don't know, man. I liked the way that they were getting to Luis Perez. And to be fair, he plays a lot of a different game than these other quarterbacks that we're going to see in the XFL, because he's very McCarron-like, very kind of just stand in the pocket, no really huge need to like scramble, use his legs. Not no need, just inability to scramble and use his legs and stuff like that. Luis Perez, 21 for 29, 233 yards and a touchdown. He didn't have any. He got sacked 3. Like I said, he got sacked 3 times. He didn't have any rushing stats. It was that other quarterback that they had, the Lindsey Scott. After Arlington scored their first touchdown of the game, there was a moment until they scored their next touchdown. There was a moment where the only touchdowns that were scored on the Battlehawks defense were from quarterback scrambles, which is not good, but it's also not bad. It's definitely not good, but it's just, it's not bad. There was no turnovers in the game, no fumbles, no nothing like that. Both teams played cleanly. But yeah, man, this defensive line played well. That's all you can really say about that. Let's see, what else do I got going on here? I've got talked about the game, talked about Mateo Durant, Anthony Becht. It was a much more enjoyable game. It was a much more enjoyable game, and in front of 40,000 fans, that's exactly what you want for a home opener. It was fun. No giant. Well, there were a couple blunders in this game, production-wise at the stadium. Like they announced, sorry, cough. They announced the 40,000 people, and that it was a record-breaking number when the Battlehawks had the ball. I remember them doing something like that last year too, like announce that when the other team has the ball on a 3rd down. Don't do it when your own team has the ball on a 3rd down, because the crowd's going to get loud, and you don't want that to happen. These are very easy fixes, production-wise. I just think that we could do better, is all I'm saying. We could do, whoever's in charge over there, not a football guy. Confirmed not a football guy. It was good as far as penalties went too, as well. I should say, Battlehawks only had 2. It was for 30 yards, but Arlington had 6 for 52. Man, I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed the way that game happened, except for the very frustrating end there, where I just kind of like sat back in my chair. I was like, oh, like arms crossed. I was like, ugh. The coward kick, man. I think that's going to end up burning. Anthony Beck's going to make a decision again. He already made a decision that lost them a game in week 1. I think that his decision making is going to play a big part on this team. I think that's where we're headed, and I think it's going to matter. Luckily, in week 1, they lost to a team that wasn't a conference opponent or divisional opponent, whatever the hell you want to call it. But I think that he could make a bad decision later on. That's going to affect us in a bad way. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Your Battlehawks improved to 1-1. They win 27-24 over the Arlington Renegades, who were the XFL champions last year. Bizarre, fluky way that they did it, but they were. And it's the start of a winning streak, I guess is the thing to say. Next game they're playing, I believe, is on Sunday afternoon at San Antonio, who won their game earlier on Saturday as well, doing the 4th and 12 thing. They ended up scoring like 12 points in like a minute and a half or some bullshit. I don't know. It's weird. We'll go back and watch all that. But thank you guys very much for hanging out with me. Just a reminder, Solid, this show, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple. Also have it on YouTube if you want to look at my face while we're doing this. Didn't wear a hat because I just got out of the shower. But you can do that. You can do that if you so please. But thank you guys again very much for paying attention, or not paying, whatever, you get it. But thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for watching, for listening. I will be back with you later this week for a recap, and we'll do our awards. I got some thinking to do. For the Cacaw of the Week. I got some thinking to do about that, because who are our contenders right now for Cacaw of the Week? We've got, obviously, Mateo Durant. We've got Marcel the Shell with the shoes on. And we've got Pita Taumapenu. I'm going to get that. Also, I didn't like that I've been pronouncing Freedom Akinmoladun. Freedom Akinmoladun. I've been pronouncing his name incorrectly. I've been pronouncing it Freedom Akinmoladun. It's Freedom Akinmoladun. So appreciate you guys for not calling me out on that. If you are one of those kinds of dickheads that would do something like that, I got to do better. I got to do better as a name pronouncer, and the people that are running the Dome, they got to do better with not getting the crowd jazzed up while the Battlehawks have the ball on a 3rd down. We got to everybody all together. We can all do better. But again, let's end this. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. This has been Solid. My name's Jake Beckman. On Twitter, it's Jake L. Beckman. On Instagram, Jake L. Beckman. Tweet at me. Tell me if I'm dumb. Tell me if I'm smart. Don't tell me if I'm smart. Tell me if I'm dumb. Tell me the ways that I'm dumb. Tell me the ways I can do better besides pronouncing names. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I will catch you later this week.